All right. Welcome. So the name of this video is called Tasting the Nectar of Krishna's Name. All right, I'm going to share something with you guys. Now, this is kind of an unusual blessing, but if I chant Japa online, somehow or other, I notice that the nectar of chanting the name increases. Now, I don't know why, it's just some kind of blessing. And I know anybody else who will come on and chant also with me together. It's like a group chanting, even though this will be probably recorded for a lot of people. We'll also get that blessing. So if you want to increase your chanting, chant with me, some japa. And I sometimes I talk in the middle spontaneously. If you can just bear with that, because things are coming to share. But what do you got to lose, man? Because that's what it's about. If you're been into Krishna consciousness and chanting for a long time, and you want to, or you don't chant so much anymore because you just don't have the taste. There's so many devotees like this. You've got taste for more of the worldly stuff. Come here and try this. Get the blessing. It's working for me. So try it. Try chanting a little japa with me. I'm going to be doing this every day, and then we talk about Chaitanya Lila, and get attached to Lord Chaitanya and just live a wonderful life. Go back to the spiritual world. Even in this life, you start to taste this nectar. What else is there? Wait, what, the world chewing the chewed and all that stuff that Prabhupada used to say? If you don't, just chant, be happy. Don't hold resentments against anybody, including me. Nobody. Just forgive everyone their transgressions against you. We can't, none of us can do anything about it, really. We're all get covered by Maya sometimes, and that's, until we become like completely out of it. Even we hear all these stories in the Bhagavatam. People are covered by the illusory potency, and they're pure devotees often, So if that's happening to them occasionally, it's going to happen to us. But I'll tell you, you want to chant and taste the nectar of the name, you come and you try this. What do you got to lose? Because that's what I want, man. I tell you, man, this nectar is everything. It's like it's power, not the kind of power to control and manipulate. It's power to live in this world a happy life, not just a materially happy, but fulfilled life, connected with God. This to me is everything. It's security, because the security of the world, no matter what you do, you can't make enough money to be secure. You can't do enough of anything to be really secure in this world. Okay? So it's tasting the nectar of Krishna's name. And when, I'm reading the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, again and again and again. Chaitanya Bhagavat. It's so intimate. It's so like, puts you right there with him. And the devotees were living on this nectar. They just tasting the nectar of Krishna's name. That's how they survived in this world. Okay? And so the whole thing is to get attached to Krishna. Through his name, and especially through Lord Chaitanya's pastimes too. This is so important. Lord Nityananda taught this. He was always telling people, make Gauranga your life and soul. Yeah. This is life, man. Don't waste it. Yeah. Find people who are chanting and tasting the nectar of Krishna's name, whoever they are. Don't be fooled by prestige positions and all of that. This is nothing. Or a position as a sannyasi, or the main thing is, are they tasting Krishna's name, whether they're a sannyasi or a householder? They tasting the nectar, the pastimes, and the qualities of Krishna. Because if they are, that's the association to look for. Okay, so let's chant and taste Krishna's name, the nectar of the name. So I know I got the blessing to chant in public, even if there's nobody here right now, to taste the nectar of Krishna's name. So I'm going for it. So I hope to see you here too. And then if it works for you, please leave some comments on the YouTube or the Google or Facebook, wherever you see this wonderful video. Uncommon video. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, how do you know when you're tasting that nectar? And how does it differ from the nectar of the world? This is a good question. Can you make that distinction? Well, I think most people that have been devotees can, because we often get a fleeting taste. Like when you're chanting and you feel some bliss with chanting in kirtan like this, you feel kind of like especially freed up from mental problems or relief from suffering, stuff like that. And the deeper the taste actually goes into other things where tears start to come to the eyes sometimes when you're chanting. See, this is all Krishna's nectar of his name. Everybody benefits. Yeah? And then tears and sometimes laughing. See, this is all symptomatic of tasting Krishna's name. See, and or laughing or crying. Even this spiritual sadness, which is like a separation mood. Oh, this is nectar. It's all transformation of spiritual ecstasy. If you can get that, And if you don't have that, hang around the few people in this world that are manifesting such symptoms, if you can find them. And then you'll quickly get it too. And so these are this is the nectar. This is the strength of devotees, is this kind of bhakti. And the bliss of relishing the pastimes, it's an amazing bliss. And the humbleness of heart that comes when our soul is awakened to its relationship with Krishna, this very deep humbleness and this forgiveness of others, this sweetness and kindness towards others. This is all result of tasting the nectar of Krishna's name, his fame, his pastimes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. See, I told you, this is a blessing. Just chant together with people. And okay, I want to share this realization. This is really good. It really was good for me. It's really wonderful. We went out yesterday and chanted in Sankirtan at a person's house. These people that are coming to this chanting, they're just nice people. They don't know. I don't even think most of them don't know anything about Krishna. We don't even talk about it. We just get there and eat this nice popcorn that I make with yeast and all these nice spices. Everybody loves it, man. Maybe they come for the popcorn too. And we have nice tea, cookies, stuff like that, and then we chant these names, and everybody is coming pretty regularly. And so yesterday, my friend that I came with, she was kind of going through stuff, but we just went in there, we sat down and chanted, and then we all started to get a special blessing from chanting and sharing the name publicly, then kirtan. And later on, my friend, she was commenting, wow, I'm sorry I gave you a hard time. These things are coming. She was feeling forgiving, and repentant a little bit. And then the next day is like a whole different attitude. I was saying, wow, this Sankirtan is such a blessing. And the other lady who usually has a hard time sleeping, She said, "Wow, I slept like a baby after that kirtan." You know, and she doesn't know anything much about Krishna, but she just liked the chanting, and just so it's associating with that name is so auspicious. The name is the Lord in his name form, and so there were so many blessings that came from that, and also I also got some blessings. I don't want to speak about it because it kind of sounds. I speak about stuff that happens to you. Everybody thinks it's weird, Oh, the guy's an ego. Anyway, it was a wonderful blessing too. Mm. And I got so inspired, that wow, it's by sharing and preaching Krishna's name and fame and preaching and by serving the Vaishnavas. Like for myself, I got an order from Prabhupada in 1996 to basically speak a lot about Lord Chaitanya and his Lila, and because I was tasting the nectar of that Lila back then. I was floating around India. It was wonderful, and people were coming to hear it, and they started floating, and Prabhupada was so happy. Yeah, he came in a lucid dream and said, yeah, just do that, man. Do more of that. That's my order to you. And, so basically this was, this is my, in my head, this order. And so, it's just been problems, coming through because what were we doing? Battling the Maya and our own desires and all these things. But you just keep pushing on. It gets better and better and better. Forgot the point. Oh, well. It'll come again. Yeah. So it was about basically then it was about tasting Krishna's name and everybody benefits, and then we just started talking about Chaitanya Bhagavat, and we're all going into like ecstasy. Oh yeah, and it was based on basically it's serving the Vaishnavas, especially Mahabhagavat gives an order and instruction, or even general orders, just going out and chanting because the orders are all there and everything. You don't have to have personal, that was more confirming too from Prabhupada, and just go out and share Krishna with others, and the blessings just start to come for everybody involved. And I realize this in perspective for those who sometimes they think, well, let me go to Vrindavan and Radhakund or something and just chant and do intense bhajan and just think about Krishna. And you do it alone, and there's not always much association over there because I have a friend that's over there. They don't have any, it's only Bengalis, and they got their association. But for Westerners, there's no, So the thing is, if one wants to progress and be enthusiastic, because that's a sign that you're on the right path. When you're doing devotional service and you feel enlivened and enthusiastic and you can taste some of this nectar more and more, this devotional nectar, and that's a sign you're on the right path. See, but if you're, and that's why I believe that Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta said, encourage the preaching. You go out there and preach because this floods us with mercy. And then maybe at a later stage in life, when you're like Rupa Goswami, you can follow those instructions. Like the essence of all advice and the nectar of instruction is to go to Radhakund, and chant and hear and chant nicely and everything. A lot of people try that. But I think what I'm finding, if it's too early of a stage, all it does is get your mind weird. As I'm looking at people that do that, they can't. And you get into it. We need to get that mercy, and it comes by distributing it. See, so this really made it clear. Lord Chaitanya's teaching when he said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the religion of this age is remembering Krishna and reminding others about Krishna. That's the real religion. So simultaneously, we benefit ourselves and others. See, if you're just going to benefit ourselves, this is the idea, you just chant Japa alone or something. Maybe if you're Haridas Thakur, you can do that. But for our stage, and my stage at least, is just, I know if I like even getting on this video camera, and chanting japa and do a little speaking about these things, I feel this incredible dip into the mercy. See, more so than just sitting alone here and chanting and not reaching out and sharing. Association. Association, no, not really with me, but association with the name. See? See? Remembering Krishna and reminding others, it's a simultaneous thing with Sankirtan. Remembering the pastimes and reminding others of the pastimes. I do that on the videos or wherever I can do it. See, that's the essence of all advice, I think, at the stage of that most devotees are on. Because as soon as you stop being merciful by sharing, then often it's not so easy to connect with the mercy. At least that's my experience. And I see devotees often make a mistake like this. They go out and try and do this solitary bhajan, And I find myself, I'm so enthusiastic, when I'm sharing Krishna and remembering Krishna and reminding others of Krishna. I feel this natural enthusiasm, It's kind of happy. And I see people who have a hard time doing that. They're struggling with themselves, or they just don't feel like it, or they don't want to do it, and they struggle. Anyway, that's that's what we gotta work through that. Sometimes I feel like that too. Anyway, I just wanted to share some realizations here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, 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 Hare. This was Lord Chaitanya's program. I'm chanting here and remembering Lord Chaitanya, all these instances. He was always in this mood, practically. He was always into remembering Krishna and reminding others at the same time. He'd be so many opportunities, even when he first started the Sankirtan movement. It's at the beginning in the first chapter. How the beginning of the Sankirtan movement was his remembering Krishna and reminding others at the same time. Just like he said, that statement, that's the real religion. We can follow in his footsteps. He would go, and he takes his devotees into the room with Suklambara and said, I want to tell you of my sadness. So then he starts remembering Krishna. Oh, when I was in Gaya, I saw the feet of Krishna. And then Krishna appeared, and then he disappeared, and then I lost my life, and he's relishing this mood. Tears are coming to his eyes, and he's swooning. And then the devotees, see, he's sharing at the same time, and the devotees get the transmission. See, that's how it is. We got to taste the nectar of Krishna and to spread it. And if we're not at that platform of the taste so much, we got to be around those devotees who are tasting and sharing magnanimously Krishna consciousness, because that's how you get it. You can't get it from the dry devotees whose hearts aren't melting with bhakti yet. We got to at least come to that stage and know where a well is. The well is not in just knowledge of Krishna, it's in the devotion of Krishna. The mellows of Krishna. Yeah. Yeah, that's where it's at. So, and Lord Chaitanya, even when he went preaching, he was preaching all over South India, going around, and he's chanting the holy name in ecstasy like this, and he's meeting people on the road, and so he's relishing and remembering Krishna and distributing Krishna, reminding others of Krishna. See, that's the secret. So anybody doing solitary bhajan, imitating, like sometimes Lord Chaitanya would do that, this is, or Haridas Thakur, But for our stage, we got to do a lot of this. Remembering Krishna, reminding others of Krishna, doing Sankirtan and chanting the holy name. If we want to stay enthusiastic and not drift away. Many devotees have drifted away, fall by the wayside. Yeah. So I know for me, if I share my association, even though I'm nothing special or nothing, but just share my realizations, just like Jesus said, give and it shall be given unto you. Give whatever you have. I have no money really, anything, but I do my chanting and I go out and I get these realizations. And what do? I share it. Remember Krishna, remind others about Krishna, share my realizations that are coming. Yeah, hopefully, benefiting others who watch the videos. Oh, good. We got one viewer. Thank you for coming. Leave a comment somewhere and let us know how you like what we're saying. So that's what it's about. I've had my problems, I've fallen away a few times, went into other things. I have weaknesses with different, like I have this Christian thing. Sometimes I had to go through that, and everybody, at least I do, But, Krishna keeps pulling me back by the hair, and here I am chanting again. Thank you, Lord, and I'm going to keep going, as long as I can go. It's a race. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So that one viewer out there, get out your bead bag and let's chant together here. Let's get high on Krishna. Get juiced up on Krishna here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. See, I told you, mercy is coming, man. Dude, I get up. This doesn't happen when I chant alone in a little lonely spot. I'm just thinking about myself. Comes out, just do a video, get the camera out, and chant in public. Let people laugh at you, even though I'm laughing and crying or whatever comes up. Just let them laugh. But the mercy's coming. That's what's important. Let me taste that nectar because this is my life, And I know, because I even watch my videos back, and at those moments when this mercy is coming, I feel it coming again. So if it's good for me, I'm sure it's good for those who are open to watching the fun, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. So go ahead and laugh. I don't care. I laugh a lot anyway. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. We're here to entertain our viewers here. We're not here to have a grave experience. The grave experience is for the graveyards, people that are not quite alive yet. Here we have fun. When tasting this nectar, the mood of Lord Chaitanya and his devotees in Navadvip and Vrindavan begins to overshadow the whole experience here. Okay? That's what it's about. That mood is the goal of worshiping Krishna, not in this grave thing. That's Vaikuntha stuff. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari. We need, it's time that we surpass the Christians, because I tell you, a lot of Christians, this is what kind of misled me. A lot of Christians now, they're having ecstatic experiences, and similar to the ones we see that Lord Chaitanya had. And they don't even know about Lord Chaitanya, but a lot of them are falling down on the ground, rolling around, laughing and crying. You know, this is on the YouTube, and in churches they're having live sermons like this. And the Vaishnavas, they don't even, like crack a tear. Nothing's coming practically. I don't know, maybe, but it's time. Even to see that, Lord Chaitanya this is what it's about. Was about Lord Chaitanya is he had all these ecstatic symptoms, and the devotees are supposed to get these things too. What is it happening with the Christians only? They're out there. You should see some of these. I was watching these videos. I was like, my God, look at this. These Christians they're getting touched by the preacher, and they're falling down and laughing and they're rolling all over the ground, and just just like we read about in the Chaitanya Lila. Sometimes they get touched by the minister channeling some kind of current, and they just jump up and they start running all over the church like madmen. It's a sight to see. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Oh, it's too bad. I should have put the questions and answers so even the viewer could. I don't know. Do I have questions and answers here? Links. Yeah. Okay. Next time I'll enable the questions and answers so we can have some discussion here too. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You know what? I think I'm going to read a little Chaitanya Lila now. Let's do something a little bit here. Share some. Dwaita Prakash. And go. This is a wonderful book. Okay. All glories. This is Dwaita Prakash. All glories to the devotees of Sri Chaitanya. All glories to Sitanath, and all glories to Nityananda, along with all the devotees. One day, Sri Krishna Chaitanya privately told his devotees that he wanted to go to Vrindavan. The devotees said to him, "It is the rainy season. We don't think it is a good time for you to go to Vraj." Gaura accepted their statement, saying the words of saintly devotees are as good as Vedic injunctions. Indeed, transgressing their instructions diminishes all auspiciousness. He then took his associates and went to Bengal. When he arrived in Shantipur, he went to the house of Advaita, who became overwhelmed in ecstasy on seeing Lord Gaura. Advaita Prabhu roared and jumped high as he danced. And then, as he repeatedly declared, "How fortunate I am today." The loving devotion of Mother Sita cannot be described. Tears flowed from her eyes like the Ganges and washed Gaura's entire body. You know, this avatar, Lord Chaitanya, is so auspicious. Seeing him was like that for a devotee like Gaura. Advaitacharya could really appreciate how auspicious to see God in this manifestation as the Gauranga. He jumped up in great ecstasy. Not only that, it is so auspicious just to read this pastime about such an avatar. You know, it's so auspicious, so much benefit. This is why Krishnadas Kaviraj and Vrindavan Das Thakur say over and over again, those who hear Chaitanya Bhagavat, those who hear about Chaitanya Lila will develop love of God. See? Devotion will appear in their heart. This is the highest goal in life, is love of God. Lord Chaitanya taught, Rupa Goswami, the highest goal of life is love of God. Okay? That's the awakening of love of God. And then even deeper perfection of that, the perfection of life is devotional mellows, the relishing the mellows of devotion. The loving, among them three, Sri Achyutananda, Krishna Mishra, and Sri Gopal Das. Oh, wait. Sita's sons were most powerful. Among them, three, Achyutananda, Krishna Mishra, Sri Gopal Das, were prominent in devotional service. Advaita Prabhu was always pleased by their saintly behavior. They all dedicated their lives to Sri Gauranga's service and bathed in the nectar of his love while observing his pastimes. Okay? So it's funny, just spontaneously, they were on that level. They just naturally dedicated their lives to Lord Chaitanya, showing by example. The greatest thing to do is to dedicate one's life to Lord Gaura's pastimes. Their deepest nectar is in that. So, and they were already, spontaneous devotees, and they knew, let me dedicate my life to Lord Gaura's service. Okay? What greater service in this world can there be but to speak and chant Lord Chaitanya's glories? Those devotees were very fortunate to see Gauranga. Okay? We're very fortunate to even be able to have faith in Gauranga and to chant his glories so that other people can hear them and remember them and benefit and become devotees. I mean, I've seen people, they watch these videos and sometimes they have these ecstatic experiences. Devotion awakens in their heart and they start laughing and crying. What a great, it's kind of like being a spiritual midwife. You know how I've never been a midwife, I don't know, but I could imagine a midwife is sitting there and helping a baby be born, assisting in that. See? We're doing that too, as if one gets attached to Lord Chaitanya, one is like a spiritual midwife, is right there watching devotees being spiritually reborn with this devotion beginning to awaken in their heart and developing attachment for Lord Chaitanya. Okay? That's the devotee's business in this world. Okay? When Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada came to America, he spoke a lot of classes in Chaitanya Charitamrita about Lord Chaitanya, even in the beginning. It wasn't just Bhagavad Gita. He spent many classes because he knew the auspiciousness of Lord Chaitanya's Lila. He wanted to introduce that. He wrote Krishna book right away also. Yeah. Uh, So they all dedicated their lives to Lord Gauranga's service, and they bathed in the nectar of his love while observing his pastimes. Yeah, and those who do bathe, when they dedicate their lives to Lord Gauranga's pastimes, then one very much, very, like bathes in that nectar of love for Gaura. See, that's Gaura praying. This is not just love of God, general, like universal love. In New Age, they talk about universal love. This love of Gaura is actually Radha Krishna praying. This kind of love of Vrindavan, Ras. See, that's what the gift of Lord Chaitanya is given Vrindavan. See? So when anybody loves Lord Gauranga, this is the highest love, greatest nectar, greatest privilege we all have, and to share that with others. There was these Pathan soldiers. Uh, I'll just share a little aside here. Just because this has been this wonderful jewel of sharing about Gauranga has been given to me, and also ordered by Prabhupada in 1996 in a lucid dream, and I've been doing that since then, on and off. Sometimes I got bewildered. I got old things got to deal with to clear up. I have deep attachments to Jesus. Uh, so I mean, really deep. Some kind of actual thing, and so I had to work out this. The Lilas and all of this. Get situated and clear about certain things. Um, Yeah, so the greatest privilege is to share this Krishna Chaitanya Lila and help other people become attached in this way. This is how it works. And if any of you are watching this video, you have attachment to Lord Chaitanya, if you want more mercy, if you want that mercy to continue and taste that nectar, share it with others. Because that's the mood of Gauranga, is magnanimous, munificence, sharing this with others. Like these Patan soldiers, they became converted and they met Lord Chaitanya, and they just put their guns away and just went around India spreading the glories of Lord Chaitanya and his Lila, telling people about the auspiciousness of Lord Chaitanya, because it moved them to the platform of love of God, made them different people. They weren't just these Muslim low-minded soldiers. Okay? This is what the world needs. Otherwise, the world is just in this mundane consciousness, just going through samsara and birth after birth. Okay? Uh, so their loud singing of the holy names defeated the singing of the Gandharvas. Sometimes intoxicated with love, they would cry out loudly in ecstasy. Mm. It's like oh, Krishna, oh, hey, Krishna, stuff like that. Or who knows what else. Gauranga and Nityananda raised their arms and danced in the Sankirtan party, along with the devotees. I took bath in the nectarian waters of the Ganges, and then, out of the boundless good fortune, I was engaged in Gauranga's and Nityananda's service. Sita cooked nectarian preparations, which the three lords honored along with the devotees. Such ecstasy as was experienced there cannot be described. Only the most fortunate were able to taste their Mahaprasad. Isn't that interesting, Mahaprasad? Receiving the auspicious news of Gaura's arrival in Shantipur, Mother Sachi joyfully came there. Seeing his mother, Gaura offered her obeisances, and Mother Sachi affectionately took the Lord on her lap. The devotees then relished in their hearts the mood of Mother Yashoda, taking Krishna on her lap at Kurukshetra. Who wouldn't be moved by seeing this pastime? Everyone's heart was attracted by the waters of that ocean of love. Mother Sachi then cooked a variety of vegetables, especially those that were dear to Gaura, like Batyuka sak. She cooked other preparations like squash and milk and cakes that were so delicious there could be no comparison. Sri Krishna Chaitanya then sat down to eat. With Nitai on his right and Advaita on his left, Mahaprabhu said, "The spinach preparation is the best." Nityananda said, "If I get a little more, it would be very nice." My Prabhu, Advaita, smiled and said to Nityananda, "Your love for the conditioned souls is like the flow of the Ganges." Nityananda then said, "Your face is turned upwards, so how can you see anything below you?" The three lords all laughed loudly. Only the most fortunate could understand why. Mother Sachi gradually increased the excellence of her service. As they held daily festivals in the house of Advaita Prabhu, after some days the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya departed quickly for Vrindavan. On the way, he eventually arrived in the village of Ramakeli, where he met Rupa and Sanatan. Oh, what wonderful devotees, huh? Rupa and Sanatan. These devotees are so amazing, actually. Just a second here. A little mucus buildup here. I tell you, this is the life, man. Remembering Lord Chaitanya and sharing Lord Chaitanya, then the mercy will flow for me and those who hear. You know, this is the path. The real path. The juicy path. Sri Rupa and Sanatan were oceans of knowledge in all subjects. They were ministers to the king and as wise as Brihaspati. Mahaprabhu bestowed great mercy on them, as they could give up all sense enjoyment and become non-envious. Become non-envious. You know, this is one of the main blocks to relishing Krishna's pastime is being envious. You know, even as devotees, it's not easy to give up envy, and the Lord is very merciful. Yeah, I remember there's a statement of Bhakti Vinod Thakur and and Srila Prabhupada also. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada, or both of them said things like, basically like Prabhupada said, "Oh, in this Krishna consciousness movement, there are so many envious persons." So you could say it like this: in this Krishna consciousness movement, there are many envious persons. Or, in this Krishna consciousness movement, there are many envious persons. Oh, how merciful Krishna is. He's even attracting the envious, and he's going to purify them. Okay? Because, nobody's qualified. We all got some problems in this, and even a little envy is going to be there sometimes. So, but the more mercy we get from Lord Chaitanya's devotees, we become less envious. And then we can really relish this nectar. And you have to get pretty much clear of it with the devotees, because got to understand that the nectar comes through the devotee relishing this bhakti. not from you or me directly relishing it. See, when a devotee is relishing this nectar of Chaitanya Lila, and tears are coming or whatever it is, laughing, or just they're acting like crazy, like they're drunk, spiritually drunk, on this nectar is very intoxicating, and they become very jovial and all this. So that's how we get the bhakti. See, but often devotees give envy. I've seen people that were having some ecstatic symptoms, and I've seen devotees, Prabhupada disciples, they stormed out of the room. How dare they cry on their, giving class and all this, and so they, you kind of miss out till you're ready. This is why the only reason for we hear these stories, the devotees going to a secluded place and talking about Krishna and all this, is because it brings up a lot of stuff in devotees. Yet, to actually get this nectar, we need to actually get it through the devotees relating to Krishna in ecstasy. And I mean, that's the Raganuga teaching. Okay? That's why the devotees that the Lord brings, or the devotee brings, a confidential devotee in a secluded place, and they're relishing this bhakti of nectar with a non-envious companion, and the companion gets it like that. That's how we got Bhagavad Gita. Is Krishna spoke to Arjuna and he said, I'm speaking this Bhagavad Gita to you because you're my friend and you're not envious of me. Therefore I can relate this to you. Okay? So we're not qualified to taste this nectar directly. We're not like Mother Yashoda or any of these eternal associates. So we got to get it through the devotees. Okay? Whoever has this kind of ecstasy, we get it through them. And the same thing, even the devotee, he's not getting it directly. Even a devotee on the level of ecstatic mellows, they're getting it through associating with devotees who write these wonderful books and relishing the nectar that way. Even Lord Chaitanya did it. He would be relishing the nectar that came through the verses of his devotees, teaching the way to get it. See? So this is a little tip, pointer. If you really, really want it, then devotees, will show up, and that you get it through the devotee chanting in ecstasy. Okay? Chanting these verses in ecstasy. Lord Chaitanya quoted the verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila. It's not by regulative devotional service that one develops spontaneous love. Normally, it's very rare, he said. It's through the association of devotees chanting the holy names in great ecstatic love. It's through them. Okay? So this nectar is rare, and that's the way it's transmitted when a devotee is ready. When they're ready is just greedy for it, spiritual greed. I really, really want this, and one prays to the Lord, please, send me good association where I can also drink this nectar. Okay. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them he was going to Vrindavan, Rupa and Sanatan privately discouraged him. The two brothers said, "O ocean of mercy, Mahaprabhu, please do not go anywhere with so many people." Hearing this from his devotees, Gaura decided to go south, and after a few days he arrived in Shantipur. On his return, the devotees' ecstasy of love overflooded Shantipur. As my Prabhu organized daily Sankirtan festivals. See, the idea always tasting this nectar and sharing it at the same time. And by sharing it, one can taste more. See, this was the conclusion of Krishnadas Kaviraj. It was by distributing this nectar of the holy names, the treasure increases through the distribution, through the tasting it. Treasure increases more. On his return, the devotees' ecstasy of love overflooded Shantipur. Okay. Seeing Mother Sachi there again, Gaura received her permission to visit Vraj. But then he went south. On the way, he met Raghunath Das, whose devotional service enchants all devotees. He was so humble. There's so many sweet pastimes that we got with Raghunath Das. I mean, he was such a wonderful devotee, or is a wonderful devotee. He's an eternal associate. He always will be existing. Just remembering Raghunath Das is the most auspicious thing we can do. He was so powerful. There's a story about him that's really worth remembering. He's just retired in Radhakund doing bhajan. They're in Radhakund in ecstasy. Ecstasy we cannot even understand. He's so ecstatic. He's not even building a place to do bhajan. He didn't even care about that. He's just totally surrendered to Radharani. He's chanting and doing his bhajan, and tears are coming. Oh, Radha, where are you? Where are you? Here, your maid servant is sitting, so miserable. He's doing his bhajan, and the hot sun is burning on his back and his head. He was in such ecstasy, and not even caring his back is burning and everything. That Radharani herself comes and puts a shirt shawl over him, protecting him from the hot sun. And Sanatan Goswami happened to be there, and he actually saw this. And afterwards, he comes to Raghunath Das and says, Prabhu, I need to share some with you. Radharani came to shield you from the hot sun. We shouldn't take service from her like this. It's not really right, Oh, and so Raghunath Das said, oh, Prabhu, what should I do? I'm such an offender. So he says, you can't do this bhajan like this. It's too, your love is so powerful, and so it even causes your deities to come and to serve you in this way. So therefore, we'll build a bhajan kutir for you, so you can do your bhajan in there. And I know you don't want it, you don't care about this, but this way you won't have to take Radharani's to service, like this. Can you imagine devotees like this? Yes, if we can just get a particle on the mercy of Rupa, Sanatan, Raghunath Das, our lives will be perfect. Sorry to scared our one viewer away. Now what to do? Powerful stuff, talking about these devotees. It's intense. So, on the way he met Raghunath Das, whose devotional service enchants devotees. In the waves of the aroma, the cooling desire tree of Gauranga. See, Gauranga is so cooling. His pastimes are so wonderful that they cool us from the hot sun of the material world. It's like a blazing fire here, and a lot of times we don't even know it. But by hearing the pastimes of Gauranga, it begins to cool us down, and we feel that this coolness. Ah, this material world is such a blazing fire. Then we really notice. That's why Lord Chaitanya is compared to a, a cooling desire tree. Fulfills all desires. Raghunath Das easily gave up the poison of sense enjoyment. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself glorified his renunciation, a subject that I am unable to describe. See, and this is Raghunath Das gave up that enjoyment through taste, increasing taste in devotional service and the association of Lord Chaitanya. Not falsely renouncing, but through tasting the nectar of devotional service. You can even see his gradual renunciation, which was actually pretty quick. But when he was serving Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri, in the pastime that's recounted by Krishnadas Kaviraj, he shows that he increasingly, as he's doing his bhajan, deep bhajan and chanting more ecstatically, he's gradually giving up this thing, giving up more, giving up more, giving up more, until he was just eating these morsels of prasadam that was thrown in the ditch, rice particles. He would take this rice that was thrown, like just, it was offered to Krishna and people ate it, and whatever was left over threw in a ditch. So he took those morsels and he would take them home and he washed them, and then he would eat these things. And that was, he was so, talk about renounced. And Lord Chaitanya came one day and said, "What nice things are you eating?" And then he grabbed some of those things from him and started eating. And he said, "Oh, this is like nectar. It came from my Raghunath Das." And I'm not qualified to even speak about these wonderful things, but what to do. Shameless. Yeah. "What nice things are you eating?" And started eating, and then Swar Damodar grabbed his hand. "This is not fit for you." See? But Lord Chaitanya relished eating. He relished the renunciation of Raghunath Das. But we can't artificially imitate that. If you do, we become strange usually. Okay, so I think that's enough for now. And thank you so much, whoever is watching this video, to be here and partaking of this feast of Lord Chaitanya and his pastimes and his mercy that comes from that. So all glories to Lord Chaitanya's devotees. All glories to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, and all glories to Bhakti Siddhanta Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Thank you so much for distributing the mercy of Krishna to me and to everyone else here in the world. All glories to their assistants also.